Okay, boys and girls, today we are looking at lesson 6.5, Relate, Subtraction, and Division on page 325. We talked about before in multiplication that it was very similar to addition. Multiplication is repeated addition. So likewise, division is going to be repeated subtraction. And we're going to look at that closer here today. So let's go to unlock the problem. It says Serena and Mandy brought a total of 12 newspapers to school for the recycling program. Each girl brought in one newspaper each day. For how many days did the girls bring in newspapers? Well, one thing to know here is we have two girls, right? So if each girl brings in one each day, that means each day they are bringing in a total of 2 newspapers. And we want to get up to 12. All right, so let's look over here at our blue box. So let's look over here at our blue box, and the first question says, how many newspapers were brought in altogether? So if we look back at our story problem here, it looks like there were a total of 12 newspapers brought in. So we can write 12 in that spot. How many newspapers did the 2 girls bring in all together each day? And I just talked about that. Each girl brought in 1, so that means they brought a total of 2 each day together. Alright, one way we're going to use repeated subtraction, which I just mentioned. So we start with 12, okay? We have to start with our biggest number in subtraction. And then we're going to subtract 2 each time because 2 is the number of newspapers total that the girls brought in each day. And we're going to count the number of times we subtract by 2 until we get to 0. So we have the first one here, 12 minus 2 equals 10. Then we take that number 10, which was our answer, the difference, and we start with it now. 10 minus 2 equals 8. Bring our 8 up here. 8 minus 2 equals 6. That is our third time we've subtracted. 6 minus 2 is 4. That's the 4th time we subtracted. 4 minus 2 is 2. That's the 5th time we subtracted. And finally, 2 minus 2 is 0, and we can stop now. And we subtracted a total of 6 times. So since we subtracted 2 6 times, there are 6 groups of 2 in 12. And we'll look at these 3 numbers here in just a moment when we finish. So Serena and Mandy brought in newspapers for 6 days. Okay, so what that tells us is we see it down here, 12, that was the total number of papers, divided by the 2 that were brought in every day, is a total of 6 days. If we look at it the other way, 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 was our answer. That's called, if you remember from the other lesson just before this, the answer to the division problem is called the quotient. So if you ever see a problem asking about the quotient, that tells you you need to divide. Okay? Let's take a look at that 12, 2, and 6 though real quick. And this is not in today's lesson. It's just something else I want to mention. When we worked with addition and subtraction, we had fact families. I'll just write one here. 3 plus 5 equals 8. And I could find a related subtraction fact like 8 minus 3 equals 5. Or 8 minus 5 equals 3. Division and multiplication are related the same way. If I have, let me erase those addition and subtraction problems. If I have 12 divided by 2 equals 6, like right here, there is a related multiplication fact with those 3 numbers. So I use the same 3 numbers, but it has to be multiplication, and the fact needs to be correct. So I could write 2 times 6 equals 12, or 6 times 2 equals 12. Either one works. Alright, that does it for that page. Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to move over to the next page and we'll finish this up rather quickly here. We're going to count on a number line. Same principle, we start at 12, just like the other problem. Count back by 2 as many times as we can. Make sure you draw your jumps, and then we'll just count the number of times we jumped. So we were at 12, we jump back 2 one time, jump back 2 more, that's now twice, jump back 2 more from 8 to 6, there's 3 times, jump back 2 more, and 2 more, that's now 5 times, and we jump back 2 more, that's 6 times. Okay, so we jump back by 2 6 times, so there are 6 jumps of 2 in 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. So you can either count backwards like we do before, or we can count backwards on a number line, either one. Question here is, what do your jumps of 2 represent? Remember, they brought in 2 newspapers every day. Each girl brought in 1, so the 2 represents 2 newspapers each day. That's what the 2 represents, okay? 2 newspapers each day. Okay, boys and girls, if you need to rewind and listen to something, clear things up, please do so. Remember, this is your teaching and learning opportunity. If you feel comfortable, you can move on to share and show. Make sure you bring me your work. You can check it, go over it, make sure it's all right, and then you have your independent assignment. As always, boys and girls, this is Mr. P, and I am out.